Donald Trump and the Republican Party has changed the electorate.
And there's the deal is done.
We are blowing up on Truth Social, but we are as nothing compared to this post from Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump is perhaps at this point beyond description and definition, some sort of living avatar of the collective American imagination, a wrecking ball in institutions of corruption and deception, but still a complex guy. He's posted this. I've not watched it yet. It's an AI video of Trump's Gaza vision. Now, we're on a variety of sites where people have a variety of perspectives. Some of you will have seen decimation, desperation, and despair coming out of Gaza in real time. You know, when TikTok used to be less regulated, you would have seen people dying in Gaza. Others of you will be Zionists and pro-Israel. All of you are welcome here. Can we reach some sort of consensus together around Trump's vision for Gaza, or is it an enormous step in the wrong direction? Let's have a look.
To set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza number one. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza number one.
Certainly the AI was kinder to Elon than it was Trump, because when Trump was reclining there, he did look a bit portly. And I'd say, bravo to Trump for posting something that could have portrayed him in a more flattering light in the most basic of terms, i.e. his physical form. Now, I can see why people will get perturbed about that, because Gaza has become a synonym for, well, in some people's minds at least, genocide, and certainly is controversial. Perhaps it's the controversy of controversies. In a way, this is yet another example of Trump's unique brilliance. He is unbounded by convention, so we'll post something like that. Now, I don't, like, at the moment, do you ever try to detect and feel the simultaneous, diffuse Babylon of voices that would come out of a platform like X or Rumble, where hopefully you'll find your way ultimately? That, you know, David Icke will say, see, I told you. Owen Jones, someone from the left will be saying, this is appalling, this is disgusting. Then imagine the voice of your man, who's that guy? Ben Shapiro, who I know pretty well, actually. Like, imagine all of the diffuse and explosive opinions around something like this. Meanwhile, Trump, the pragmatist, the idealist in so much as, you know, like if you take him in his own words, everything is kind of a deal. It's like someone sort of maneuvering around. This man who reportedly don't sort of sleep as much as the rest of us, who has a sort of a robustness to be able to withstand convictions and trials and bullets. This is the kind of, I think is the only person I can imagine bringing about resolution in these extraordinary situations. Man, in a way though, Trump just does plainly what bureaucrats and globalists do insidiously and deceptively. Just lays it all out there. And he's certainly laying out this new extraordinary piece of merch in a way that can you imagine a Hillary Clinton equivalent, a Kamala Harris equivalent, a Keir Starmer equivalent to this new hat, which I think is plagiarized from an Alex Jones saying? Let me know in the chat.
Give me all of them. Look. Yeah. See that? Trump was right about everything. It just came in. Somebody said, this was sent in by a fan. I said, I think we should make some of them, right? But we were, pretty much. You want one?
I'll pass.
Are you allowed to take one? Because he'll consider it. I know him well. He's sort of a stiff.
I said you're right.
Brian, you
There's mischief in this administration. This is unprecedented mischief. This is that sort of sense of mischief, that they're not behaving in the regimented and rigid way that we're accustomed to seeing from people in power. Think of dusty old sleepy Joe Biden pretending to be a person, then inadvertently sniffing a kid on the head, or Kamala Harris pretending to be kind of a fun auntie and then sort of just fluffing and fumbling and mumbling up like the phrases and statements she makes and seeming detached and out of time, even in her late visit to California after the fires are all but smoldered out, and sort of sniffing at the air. It smells of fire.
You can smell it.
It tastes of fire, sort of running some sort of test through her senses. Like people that talk like that, got these new hats in, what I was? We. He refers to himself as we. Now, I don't think that's narcissism, actually. I think what that is he's a kind of aware that he's become the vessel and conduit for some weird and emergent movement, which may yet be incredibly benign. Certainly it's peculiar. CNN are acknowledging that Trump has changed the makeup of the electorate. Yeah, what he is some of you might remember that in the Democrat presidential debates, Marianne Williams said, dark psychic forces have been unleashed.
This dark psychic force of the collectivized hatred that this president is bringing up in this country.
Now, that would not be my appraisal of Trump, i.e. dark is pejorative, but certainly psychic forces have been unbridled and unleashed, and even CNN recognise that this is an epochal change, and, let's face it, the legacy media are late to most parties.
Donald Trump and the Republican Party has changed the electorate. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at party identification, Democrats versus Republicans. You go back to 2017, 5 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. You go to 2021 when Joe Biden was starting out, look at that, 6 points more of the electorate was Democrats than Republicans. But look at what's happened in February of 2025. Look at this. Republicans, there are more Republicans in the electorate than there are Democrats. Republican +2. So Donald Trump and the Republicans have remade the electorate. They've turned some people over from being Democrats or independents to become Republicans. New folks have entered the electorate who are more Republican leaning. And so when you combine that with the fact that Republicans are really, really behind Donald Trump, all of a sudden you get a winning recipe whereby you break the normal rules of politics and give Donald Trump that positive net approval rating when he had pretty much a consistently negative one in term number one. As I said at the beginning, he's copying Frank Sinatra, doing it my way.
I didn't think he was going to say that. That was such a weird pivot at the end. I love that guy. Holy Toledo, you remind me of Frank Sinatra. What, you mean from the 50s and that? That's what I'm talking about, the 50s. What's fascinating is that the legacy the media themselves don't offer you even the most basic appraisal that would help you to understand how significant these changes are by acknowledging, wow, isn't it crazy that Robert Kennedy's part of this movement now? How can the Democrat Party claim that this is just some sort of weird ultra-conservative Republican movement when a figure that's so deeply ensconced within the liberal imagination has just migrated into the heart of MAGA? Because they don't cover the news properly, information surprises them. They're becoming, in a sense now, the victims of their own misinformation. Wait a minute, why are people getting all these turbo cancers? And why is myocarditis on the rise? And how come Pfizer have got so much money? And why is it people don't trust the media anymore? Because of the pandemic. We lied during the pandemic. It's possible that those vaccines have got detrimental side effects, that people that didn't take them will be better off than people that did take them. Holy crap, this is out of control. So, in a way, from the Gaza story all the way up to CNN's belated realization that the Constitution, I don't mean the literal Constitution, but the consistency, the construction of the nature of your nation is altering, we're going to have to address the fact that politics now is radically different. The way that politicians communicate is different. Like Trump just brings out merch and chats openly about it. Trump posts images of Gaza that are kind of breathtaking and extraordinary, that people are communicating in that way. Do you remember way back when Dave Chappelle on SNL said, Trump just does in public what other politicians do in private?
He said, I know the system is rigged because I use it. I said, God damn.
deal brokering, deal making, just saying, hey, we're only going to support Ukraine if there is a mineral exchange. This type of politics is working. The collective conditions must have been created by what preceded it, surely. Like that, all of the years of globalism and bureaucracy and dullards and semi-showman politicians like Blair or Obama has led to this point where this creature has emerged that's sublimely suited to the new conditions. The rhetoric is amazing. The merchandise is incredible. And there is certainly no moral foundation upon which his detractors can attack him, because they're the people that bought you the pandemic. They're the people that have bought you various unnecessary global wars. Donald Trump has emerged to create a void generated by the failing culture that preceded him, and he is occupying it deftly and somewhat magnificently. I, like you, stand on the sidelines in giddy awe when I see something like that AI imagery from Gaza. But how come, from where can you attack him? The Democrat Party can't attack him. The Labour Party in the UK can't attack him. The globalists can't attack him. If it brings peace, if this weird sort of looking at Gaza as a holiday resort instead of a holy land and scene of all this carnage and conflict, if that brings peace, who among us is in a position to criticise him? Maybe that guy just does politics better than the rest of us. I don't know. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.